Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're going to be looking at Ubisoft and some of their mechanisms that they've put in place that I believe some games are already enjoying and some future games will enjoy, but the Division 2 missed out on in regard to how they actually come into fruition. Now, the Division 2 really did have its own heyday. 2019, the game probably had been in development even much earlier. We know as much as early as 2016, right after the first Division game was released. The Division 2 basically was being spun up by a team basically a week or two after. So somewhere around April of 2016, this game kind of started its development. Since then, Ubisoft has taken a lot of their gaming vision to a whole different level. Now, I'm making this video because I feel like it's going to be pertinent to some of the things that we can look forward to down the road. In fact, the reality is, I think the Division 2 is more than likely going to be winding down after this new content that they've promised that's coming out somewhere maybe after or before Heartland. So what is this new mechanic and why is it so important? Well, for those of you who don't know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla on release, I actually did play it. Now, the way that I played it, I did so through Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus is a subscription service that you can get, and this subscription service allows you to play every Ubisoft game that's available, and it's, I think, a $15 a month subscription. So that month, they were bringing out Watch Dogs, they were bringing out Immortals, Phoenix Rising, around that same period, not the same month, but within a 3-month period, they were going to be releasing 3 games towards the end of 2020, and so I was like, well, this seems like a better deal for me, so I don't have to spend, full price of 3 games. So I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla up to that point, and if you look through my library, you're going to see that it says that I did play it, and I played it for about 7%. I got all these kills, whatever, but it didn't give me anything else, and it says it's unavailable. It says your Ubisoft subscription has expired. You see this here, right? Now, when I made a video as well that talked about a blog that Ubisoft pretty much put together about this mechanic that they put in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. After seeing the mechanic, I thought to myself, I got to play this game. So I started doing a little bit of research, only to find out that Assassin's Creed Valhalla actually was on sale. And so I went to my local GameStonk and I got myself a copy for a brand new copy, PlayStation 5. And I was able to basically, steal one for a very minimal price. I've been ignoring all the other sales they've been doing on PC and even on the PlayStation Store, but this one was kind of one of those that, you don't want to pass this up because the next time you're probably going to see a deal like this probably a few months down the road. And I've just been interested in playing it, only to find out that my account on my PlayStation 5 actually is synced to the Ubisoft Connect platform. So all of that progress that I had actually basically is going to be ported over to the PlayStation 5. Now, this mechanic, the Division and the Division 2 did not get, and I think it's because of perhaps, maybe a slew of different factors. One of them being the game had already had its own established, systems basically, set in place. And also the game has a PvP component. That's another thing that's actually really challenging when it comes to the way you want to make a lot of these games have a lot of the cross save or cross-play functionality. Now, you look at Destiny, you look at all those other games that actually have those, you can say, well, those other games are able to do it, and I get it. I think Ubisoft was more than likely, going to do something like this, but with the Division and its complexities, they probably have no incentive to do anything like this. If anything, they prefer that Division agents go ahead and buy the game and then play all of that progression on a new platform. I wish they would have just done it on this platform, but again, they made the Ubisoft Connect updates after the Division was Division 2, was already long released. And so we were not able to get something like that. But I can guarantee, that the way they announced it and said that they were going to be using the Ubisoft Connect platform to extend the way players interact and basically have their progress saved across any platform they want to play the game, I think they've already started implementing it in this new generation of games. And we're already seeing it in, titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is a game that basically came out last last year. We're also going to be seeing this in games like Far Cry. We're also going to be seeing this in games like, there are Ubisoft games like Rainbow Six, Extraction, which is going to actually be coming out next year. I think they moved it to 2022. And Rainbow Six is quite interesting because that one allows for cross-play as well, not only just cross-save. In the case of Valhalla, yes, it's a single-player game. The Assassin's Creed games are, and there's no use for PvP in a game like this. In fact, the devs have already mentioned that they don't care about, PvP. I got to get out of here, man, because honestly, I don't want to raid. Leave command. Yeah. Anyways, I got carried away playing the game. I'm going to go ahead and just pause the menu and just continue this video and talk about all of that. But again, you kind of have to, reason and say, okay, so the new games that Ubisoft is going to be bringing out from now henceforth, games like The Division Heartland, games like potentially the next Division game, which I strongly think that they're working on, or games like Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, or even the new Star Wars project, are these games going to be receiving all of those functionalities if they happen to be games like The Division 2? And the answer is actually very murky. It would have to depend strongly on how Ubisoft Massive, or even Ubisoft as a whole, wants to structure those games. I think with The Division, we'll probably have cross progression. If they're going to make another Division game, or even Heartland. When I say another Division game, by the way, please don't get me wrong. I'm talking about another full-fledged, playable game that you have to pay full price for, other than, say, Heartland, which is going to be a game based on, free to play and potentially other monetization aspects. And the question is, they'll probably allow for you to be able to take your progression across different platforms. But then when it comes to cross-play, because of the way PvP nature is in The Division, I think they're probably going to keep it, very simple, where you can have cross-play between the consoles, and, PC will just have to be in its own ecosystem. Mortal Kombat 11 right now has cross-play beta set up for Xbox and for the PlayStation, so you can play with people across the platform on console, but you cannot play cross-platform to PC with anybody else. And so I think that's probably where it's going to be relegated, because the honest truth is The Division 2 is a game that is much more fine-tuned for a PC than any other platform. If you want to know that this is the case, mouse and keyboard just really works well with the way the game, the way the game plays, in terms of controls, in terms of camera movement, in terms of aiming. Enemy NPCs take a lot of bullets, so you really do need all of those systems to work for you. But nonetheless, I just thought it was interesting to mention these systems that are being put in Ubisoft games and how I think they've probably affected The Division, or how they will affect The Division in the future, sorry to say. And even Heartland is probably going to be benefiting from this, in the immediate future once the game is released. But The Division 2 has kind of missed out on that train. And it's quite sad because many of us play on multiple platforms. I play on the PlayStation and on the PC. It would have been really nice to just take my progression across and be able to just get all my items on one character, but now I have my Ravenous on my PlayStation character, shout out to the LCN clan, and I have my Eagle Bearer on my PC character, shout out to my buddy that basically Jim that basically hooked me up with that Eagle Bearer. And so it would have been nice to really have all of those things on one particular account. Even though I'm going to be getting multiple copies of the game, I don't mind. But again, that's kind of one of those things that kind of stinks. All right, I'll get out of your hair. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Talk to me. Do you think this functionality is going to be game-changing and revolutionary? I think it will. And I'm hoping to see it used much more in the future. All right, take it easy, folks. Peace out.